Welcome to another episode of Joan Deserves a Musical, where I talk about my efforts to turn the life of Joan of Arc into an animated musical. It's been a while since I've said those words. I'm stumbling over them. It's been months since I've made any sort of video in this regard, or any sort of video at all. I took a break, not from Joan of Arc, but from work and most other things. My wife and I had a baby. The company I work for is generous enough to give me 16 weeks of paid paternity leave, and so I have not really been on the internet. But that doesn't mean I haven't been working on Joan of Arc, been thinking about Joan of Arc, and I have kind of a lot of things to bring you up to speed on. The first and biggest is that I actually got to pitch this project to an investor. This is a while ago. I'm recording this in November. This happened back in June, I think. The spoiler, they did not invest. And I think that was the right choice. It was kind of a disaster. You know, if you've been following along with this story at all, you know I can talk endlessly about Joan of Arc, about how I'm trying to turn her into an animated musical, about the people I've brought on board, about the exciting things that are happening. I bring a lot of enthusiasm to the project. I can tell the story. But if you imagine yourself for a minute as an investor who might potentially invest millions of dollars into an independent film project, you would probably have very specific questions about budget and how the money will be used and how long it will take and what sort of return on investment you can expect. I didn't know any of that stuff, but now I do. I have learned it. So let me just tell you the story. Amanda, my songwriter, had done work with an app company, a tech company with a very popular app that does a lot of short form content, kind of inspirational stuff. She'd done music with them, and they'd never done like a full length, any long form content before. But she reached out and asked them, "Is that something you've ever considered?" And they're like, "Yeah, actually, making a movie's on our bucket list." And she was like, "Well, I have one." And she introduced them to me, and she and I got to pitch it to them. Man, just so many things about it were so embarrassing. I sent out we had an email thread and figured out everybody's schedule. We're going to be pitching to the vice president of partnerships or something like that. And I sent out the invitation, right? And just my personal Google Calendar, sent it out. And I had added a Zoom link to it because that's what I typically use. But because it was a Google invite, it added Google Meet automatically. And I joined the Zoom and everybody else joined the Google Meet. I hopped on early and was waiting around, and time came and it was 5 minutes past. I was like, where is everybody? And then I checked the invite. I was like, oh no. And I went over there and there's Amanda chatting with this guy, and like, oh, already made a bad first impression. So that was embarrassing thing number one. Embarrassing thing number two, something I've done as part of my job. I work at a place called HubSpot Academy, and I've made training courses on sales. I've done research and interviewed sales experts and put them together into courses. And so I reviewed my own courses on sales. Like, how do you do a sales presentation? How do you do a pitch, right? And I had all my notes. And what I did was I just jotted down notes. I had this PowerPoint presentation I was going to be presenting. And I added a couple of blank slides with just text on them. Don't forget to ask about this. Don't forget to bring this up. Make sure you've checked on, this and that. And so I have it pulled up. Right, and I'm not sharing my screen yet, and I say, hey, how are you? And I ask these questions. Great, let's hop right in. And then I get to the title slide, I start sharing my screen, present, and that all went beautifully. But at the end, they were like, hey, can we have a copy of this deck? And I was like, yeah, sure, that's no problem, and just emailed it right off to them. And it still had all those slides up front with all my questions. Oh, so embarrassing. So not a great start, but kind of the bigger learning is that, I talk a lot about why we're making this project, why I think it's a good idea. I can tell you the story. I can sort of whistle the songs to you. But that's not necessarily a thing that's going to make someone invest, right? Like, all that has to be good in order for them to feel that the project is worthwhile. But if you don't know, how much this thing's going to cost, where the money's going to go, how long it'll take, what sort of ROI they can expect, why should they pay any money, right? And they asked a lot of really great questions, both in the meeting and over email. And we had this mad scramble in the background to figure it out. So there's me and Amanda, the songwriter. Amanda's agent/husband, David, joined in. He was kind of handling communication. We pulled in the executive producer at this animation studio we've been working with. And we worked hard for a couple of weeks. Man, that executive producer, he put together a line-by-line detailed budget. It's like 8 or 9 pages long. It's like watching the end credits of a movie. Here's all these people, and here's what each one will get paid, right? He made a week-by-week production timeline for us, 133 weeks to produce this movie, in case anyone was curious. And if you want to know what's happening in week 27, man, I can look up that spreadsheet and I can tell you exactly who's working and what they're working on. Incredible. And then David and I worked together. We put together some ROI projections based on the budgets and the earnings of movies of a similar caliber that have come out in the last 10 years. And we've put together this very beautiful investor packet. Man, it's got all kinds of information. You thumb through this, you can learn everything you want to know. Unfortunately, this all came together after they had decided to pass, right? And that's okay. I'm not convinced that investing in an independent film was the right thing for their business. It's not really aligned with what they do. I think maybe we can rely on them for promoting clips of our movie in the future, but mostly this was just a really powerful learning experience. And now we have this investor packet. We have that line-by-line budget. We have the week-by-week production timeline. And man, if we get another chance to pitch this thing, we're going to blow it out of the water. I understand now that I do need to convey the story and the songs and why we're doing it. I think I connect pretty well with people emotionally, but I also need to share the hard numbers about why this makes sense as an investment opportunity. So that was an important learning, and I'm not sad about it. I'm not sad it went poorly. Part of that is because I don't think it was a good fit for them, even if we had pitched it really well. But the other thing is I've noticed this pattern in my life. I mostly notice it when I'm on the job hunt, right? Like when I graduated college or when I first moved to Boston or when I, whatever. I have these life changes and I now need a new job. I invariably find I'll look at job postings and I'll find one that just really speaks to me. I'll be like, that's the one. And I'll dust off my resume and I'll practice my interviewing skills. And then I'll go and I won't get hired, and I'll be crushed. But then some other opportunity will come up out of the blue, and I don't have to prep, right? My resume is ready to go. I've got a cover letter. I can just alter a little bit. I know how to interview. I've already had a practice round. I go, I get the job. And I can say a similar thing about how I met my wife and got married, right? Like we need practice rounds. It's not common for the first attempt at something to work out, and so I think I'm going to chalk it up to experience and keep plowing forward. So that's where that landed. Again, this was months ago. So many things have happened since the last time I created a video. So I'm going to get back to this weekly cadence for a little bit. Going to get you up to speed with all the things you've missed because I have not told anyone about them. And yeah, hope you're doing well, and hope someday this Joan of Arc musical is in the theaters and we'll go watch it together.